looking now at Magneto from the X-Men Legends box set. And what the box set was is that it took existing figures from the previous waves at that time and came out with alternate versions, as well as having one exclusive figure. That exclusive figure for the X-Men set would be Rogue. Magneto here has the same body as the single-carded Magneto. The only difference is his head, which is sculpted with an open mouth. A much better sculpt, I think. When this box set came, I had decided not to get any of the figures from their single-carded version. Magneto makes his first appearance in X-Men #1 in 1963. He's had many names over the years, starting out with Magnus, then moving to Eric Lenscher, and finally Max Eisenhardt. I mentioned before that this is the same as the single-carded Magneto, except for the head. Magneto itself is a reuse of the Iron Man body. You can even see the shoulders here, the Iron Man armor pieces at the side. This is better. You can see here, which is kind of unfortunate in that I think he's a little bit too bulky for Magneto. Not to say Magneto isn't a buff guy, but he's just too broad. I'd much rather have a whole new Magneto sculpt. His cape is it's very back heavy, but it also does help in posing him, as you can pretty much balance him on the cape to get like a cool hovering pose almost, even without a stand. With the cape being so thick and nice, it is kind of hard for him to stand up on his own. He can do it, but it just helps that the cape kind of provides extra balance there in the back. So let's take a look at the head. And there he is. He's quite ticked off. Again, not having the other figure to compare it to right here. Going from my memory, this is a much better sculpt in the face and head. Of course, let's take a look at his helmet. Really did a good job at getting the helmet down. Unfortunately, the paint job isn't as good as it could have been, but it's hard to get that correct in the details. Lots of paint overlapping, and there's none on here. It's supposed to go all the way around. Notice that the red here has kind of a metallic silver mixed in with it. I don't know if that's a paint error or if that's part of the way the red is, to give it a more metallic look. I like it. It stays on there quite well. You do have to push it forward a little bit to get it spread out. I don't have them readily available, but all the figures in this box set came with a generic X base. Arms go 360. have the extra shoulder joint here, and they go in and out, rotate at the bicep, double elbow joint, rotate at the wrist, bend at the wrist, the fingers bend as well. The torso articulation goes left and right, and a little bit side to side, not much. There's also waist articulation. Legs move forward and back a little, in and out, rotate at the upper thigh, double knee joint, rotate at the calf, bend at the ankle, as well as pivot at the ankle. For head articulation, it's basically just left and right. There is a little bit up and down. It's actually the neck joint that moves forward and back, with the head moving only slightly. So that's it. This is a long and varied history, so be prepared for this to go maybe 2 parts. Now, he was a German Jew whose family fled to Poland to escape the anti-Semitism. Unfortunately, the anti-Semitism followed the family, and they were captured in the Warsaw Ghetto, and he was sent to the concentration camp Auschwitz. And it's there that he meets a Romani gypsy girl he used to know before the war, named Magda. And they escape during the October 7th, 1944 revolt in the camp. Yes, that's an actual event that the writers have used to explain his escape. They flee to the Ukraine, and that's where he takes the name Magnus. And they have a child, a little girl called Anya, who she dies because a mob burns their house down for some reason. Who knows? They were probably just because they were Jews or foreigners or whatever. This kickstarts his powers, and he uses them to kill everybody in the mob. And seeing this, Magda flees, is scared out of her mind, and flees. And she wanders across Europe and winds up in Mount Wundagore, where she gives birth to twins. The twins that would become the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but dies soon afterwards. So you've probably seen my Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch videos. You'll know that history. Magneto then takes up residence in Israel as Eric Lencher, and it's there that he meets Charles Xavier. They sort of hang out for a while and become friends, and they increasingly find that their attitudes on mutants and humans are very different and part ways. And they don't see each other until he attacks the missile base at Cape Citadel in X-Men #1, and starts his war in earnest against the humans. And he creates the Brotherhood, including his children, unbeknownst to him. He's reduced to infancy, so he's back to being a baby, and is put in the care of Moira McTaggart. He regains adulthood thanks to the Shi'ar agent known as Eric the Red, resumes his battle with the X-Men and humanity,